great so far. Last week was a tumultuous one for me. For the little one, she's 10 months old. She's crawling around right now if you actually hear her. And unfortunately, I was only really able to watch the market, pre-market, because, and get my watch list done because she was sick 3 days this past week with high fever of almost 104. So really my time was devoted to her family first, right? You know, that's the whole reason why I got into it. But I was definitely missing the market action. We had OSIS, which was huge, and that one was a big major sell-off based on muddy waters. And of course it had a bounce. It had a nice bounce because it was oversold. People then had the fear factor and it was lower float, so it just continued to run on up for Thursday and Friday. We also had, I believe it was AGX, same thing. It dropped down and then it ran up as well because it was in the oversold status. Bank as well on Friday with muddy waters just tweeting, and boom, it drops. So sometimes you'll see that the reaction of the market is based on news, major overreaction, sell-off, and then the market corrects itself because it's like, hey, there's no reason why OSIS lost 30% in one day when somebody just opened their mouth and said, hey, I think this is going to happen. That doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to happen. It's just speculation. It's sort of like a pump and dump on the reverse side. And sure enough, the market reacts once it gets into that oversold status. Just like a parabolic move to the upside where it's overbought, and it will go ahead and drop down. And speaking about parabolic moves and low floats, you know, low floats tend to go parabolic with demand, just in the same way that Bitcoin has gone crazy. Last week I was talking about how it had just broken 11. I'm slowly watching it, getting myself comfortable with it. Then it went up to almost 18,000 on Friday, pulled back, and now it looks like it's more on the upswing. So it goes back to the low float demand issue. I was talking with my friend Kenny, and I was trying to explain it to him and assimilate it to something real life, right? So he was talking about how he used to buy almonds 3 years ago, and they're maybe $3 a pound, and now they're $8 a pound. And I said, well, maybe it's something like what you're probably going to see happen to the price of avocados with the fires in California. That the supply, when the supply is lower, say all of the natural disasters had affected almond trees, well then there's less supply that's available, and so the price automatically goes up. Same thing that will probably happen with avocados in the upcoming weeks with all the people that are unfortunately dealing with the disasters of the wildfires out in California. And my heart goes out to everybody out there. I've got a couple friends, my sister-in-law's out in LA. So I definitely feel for everyone in California that's affected by this. Remember, your life comes first. Material possessions can always be replaced. My little one's just coming over. You start seeing a shake or something like that. So definitely the same thing happens to low float stocks, also happened to Bitcoin, right? It runs up because there's only a limited amount. And it runs up, then maybe some of the people that bought it at 500 said, hey, wow, my $500 investment turned into 18,000. I'm gonna go ahead and start taking some profit. So they went ahead, they start taking profit. It's a snowball effect. Some more people see it going down. There's a fear factor. And then all of a sudden people start selling until it reaches a point where people are comfortable to start buying again after the pullback. Same thing will happen in stocks on the way up. So typically you'll see it goes up, pulls back, up, pulls back, up, pulls back. So it's not a direct skyrocket to the moon. However, now that Bitcoin is going crazy, everybody's starting to hear about it. There's definitely more demand and people are starting to get on board. Some people are saying, oh, 500,000 by 2020. It could happen. Depends on the amount of demand, and it also depends on what banks will do with deregulation, because there's no longer going to be a central bank of a country that's going to be able to be in control of the economics of the country. I was talking to my dad about that last week. So because like the US, when they put the influx of cash in to try to bail out the economy, they're not going to be able to do that with Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin. So it's really going to take away the power of the country to stabilize the economy if there's cryptocurrencies. Sorry about the baby in the background. We'll go ahead and get into the watch list for the week. I also wanted to let you know, once again, if you guys buy my book during the month of December from me on Amazon, I'm happy to inscribe it to anybody if you want to give it as a gift or just as a signed copy for you as well. So definitely check that out. And also the watch list that I do every morning, I get it out by 9:15. It has the top 10 stocks that are in motion for that day. And I have potential longs, potential shorts, support and resistance of where I think that they could be breaking that long or that short and continue to the upside or downside based on momentum. Same thing goes for my watch list for the week. I think that my support and resistance, if it's broken, the momentum will continue in that direction. As always, I am not a financial professional. Sorry, my little one is down here trying to grab my list. Financial professional, so please do your own due diligence. These are not recommendations, it's just my opinion. And definitely check them out. Look at the stock charts. Use it as practice to see why I'm picking these stocks. So for long for this week, I have Sage, which was a pharmaceutical company, received phase 2 trials based on depression drug. Then it had 2 upgrades on Friday, and it looks like it could continue to the upside a little bit. It was 48.66% short float on Friday with 39.53 million in the float, a support of 165.42 and resistance of 169.64. Next on the list is Big Lots, with a support of 59.25 and a resistance of 60.20, a float of 42.09 million. And on Friday, it was a very high short float volume. 87.67% of the shares traded hands were shorted. That is 1.52 million. So watch for that to break the resistance and continue to the upside. It is reaching 52-week highs and could break out that resistance zone. We have VSI, vitamin store, with a support of 3.8 and a resistance of 4, 23.59 million in the float, and it has short volume on Friday of 76.79%, which was 242,000 shares that were traded. So definitely watch for a break of 4. If you look at the chart on the 5-year side, you'll see that this does look like it's curling up. It could be a good potential long-term swing here, as well as a scalp trade for breaking that 4 resistance. We have RDUS for support of 31.30 and a resistance of 32. It has 36.5 million in the float and short volume of 55.75% on Friday, which equates to 1.77 million. And that one, I do think that it has the potential to run as well if it breaks that 32 level. UAN, a support of 3.58 and a resistance of 3.81, float of 56.13 million. On Friday, it had 66.27% short volume on the day, which was a total of 867,000. So to me, I'm looking for that short volume. It's going to react within that time frame that, say, UAN. If 867 shares trade hands on Monday and there's no direct move up or down, then forget it. I would move on to next potential idea. But if it does start going to the upside, I would see that it's going to continue to the upside until about that 870,000 shares trade hands. I might go ahead and put in a stop there if it's gone and it's run up a fair amount, because at that point I think, okay, everybody's covered and it has a potential of pulling back unless there's new buyers jumping on board. For shorts for the week, I have AVGO with a support of 258.58 and a resistance of 261.27, a float of 398.53 million. And that one did have 2 down days. I did have it on a potential list as well for shorts. So definitely see if that continues for a momentum downward. Could be a potential swing short trade. We have DG, Dollar General, which had a big drop on Thursday and then a little bit of a bounce on Friday, but could continue on downwards. Support of 92.60 and a resistance of 93.72, 272.95 million in the float. We have HQY with a support of 45.33 and resistance of 46.11 and a float of 58.49 million. We also have short potential for EIX, support of 71.01 and resistance of 73.32 and float of 325.24 million. And SYF, final on the short list for the week, of support of 37.17 and resistance of 37.73, a float of 781.98 million. So definitely keep those on watch. I did have my longs for potential swing list last week of SAM, OLED, and NVIDIA. For sure, you know, SAM up all week. NVIDIA had a drop, and then it had 4 up days. And then OLED had a drop and major insurgence on Friday with a new contract with BOE. So definitely check those out for continuation in the direction. Also, potential swing watch list for this week of SANM for potential breakout. We have DAV, Dave and Buster's, I believe, and SCMP. So those are the 3 to watch for potential longs for the week. And like I said, AVGO and BIG would also be potentials for swings as well, in my opinion. As always, guys, you know, trade properly, carpe profit, seize those profits one at a time. The women trading event that I'm setting up in June will be coming up for registration in the next couple of weeks, so definitely keep your eyes peeled. I will put all the information down below, and we'll definitely share it with you on Twitter and email and everything like that. If you guys ever have any questions, you know how to reach out to me: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as my email, carpeprofit@gmail.com. If you want to receive these videos every week and you want notification as soon as they come up, please subscribe and like as well. Have a great week ahead. Hope your holidays are great, and we're getting some snow up here.